Emotional abuse hides in plain sight, leaving scars that no one can see. Let's break down the subtle red flags that most people miss. Subtle warning signs backed by real examples and stats. And most importantly, you'll learn actionable steps you can take as long as you feel safe speaking up and are in a safe space. I'm Adria. On this channel, we dive deep into raw, culturally relevant conversations about mental health, emotional abuse, and everything in between. Let's shed light on what hides in the shadows. So some of the red flag number one, jokes that don't feel like jokes. This one is probably my favorite because this one happens so often. And it feels like and or appears like comments that sting, but are disguised as humor. And the reason why I said this one was my favorite is because this one makes you feel small, belittled, or too, quote unquote, too sensitive. And what you can do about that, as long as you feel safe to do this, is calmly call it out. That hurt. That joke hurt. Please don't say that. Name the behavior and protect your emotional space. If you don't speak up for yourself and you don't call things out or call people out, then how are they going to know if something is bothering you, if something hurt you, and if you don't want something like that to happen again? So you have to start speaking up for yourself. As long as you're in a safe space and it's time to protect your emotional space. Red flag number two is emotional withholding. And that looks like the silent treatment, love withdrawal, someone that goes ghost on you, someone that you tell them that you didn't like something, and instead of them understanding, they manipulate the situation and make it about themselves. And that looks like not speaking, withdrawing themselves. And honestly, what it does to someone else is it impacts your trust and your emotional safety, because now you feel like, I can't even speak up, or I'm going to upset this person that I really care about. I'm going to upset the person that I love. And I'm going to suppress my emotions to ensure that that relationship is intact. But a better way for you to do something about this is you can say things like, I deserve to be treated with consistency and care. You can also reach out to friends. You can reach out to professionals. You can reach out to someone that will make you feel okay to share this information with, but also validation. Sometimes we need to know that we are not alone, and sometimes we need to know that we weren't being too sensitive. Subtle gaslighting can seem like statements that sound like you're overreacting, or it didn't happen like that, or you're imagining things, or that's not the way that I said it, but that's the way that you interpreted it. And stats show that nearly 48% of adults experience psychological aggression from partners. So 48%, that is a huge percentage. And why it matters is because it leads to confusion and it also leads to self-doubt. And now you have your partner here doubting themselves and doubting what they were feeling, and also not feeling safe within your union. And some of the things that you can do about this is start writing down your conversations, maybe on your notes section, on your phone, maybe emailing it to yourself, starting with dates and quotes of what this other person said to you so that you can always refer back to that and show them, like, hey, you said this on this date and you made me feel like this and I did not like it, and I just wanted to remind you, like, this is what was said. And like that, you can also hold yourself accountable, but also the other person. And when I say hold yourself accountable, is so that it's not something that you're constantly going through and you're starting to see that there's a pattern. And now you're holding yourself accountable because now you think to yourself, okay, well, this isn't something that I want to deal with. This isn't something that I deserve. And this isn't something that I need. And it really grounds you into your sense of reality and into what is okay with you and what is not okay with you.
Next two red flags are very important to me because they relate so much. And red flag number 5 is love bombing followed by withdrawal. And that can look like extreme affection. So we're literally almost glued to each other. We're constantly talking to each other. We're constantly calling each other. There's no sort of separation. Where I know what you're doing at all times, where we're sharing our locations. I have complete control of this other individual, followed by that connection is just revoked. There's sudden coldness. It leaves you emotionally unavailable because it almost feels like a breakup. You were so stuck on this routine of we're doing this, we're together 24/7, we're talking, we're communicating, we are just obsessed. And that is just revoked by someone that either goes ghost on you or that routine has now suddenly just shifted. And some of the things that you can do is you can watch out for this type of cycle. You can set boundaries. You want to make sure that you don't create a codependency where you are in a way depending of this other person emotionally, financially, physically. Everything is dependent of that other person. You want to set clear boundaries. And you should also know that affection shouldn't be controlled. So you love me, I love you, and we're our own individual person, and that shouldn't have anything to do with us trying to control each other. That shouldn't play a role in our intimacy, which now leads me to red flag number 6, which is love as a weaponized control, meaning forced intimacy. So now I'm going to control your behavior by intimacy. And again, everyone's perception of intimacy is different. Yes, I understand that. But this other person, your partner, your friend, whoever this other person may be, they know you. They know what you like. They know what you don't like. And intimacy looks differently in different ways, right? It matters because this is emotional abuse and it violates boundaries, trust, and personal autonomy. And it can make you feel trapped, anxious, and or unsafe. And it shouldn't be like that. Love should not be that. What you can do, as long as you're in a safe space, is remember your body and autonomy belongs to you. And clearly say that. I need space for myself. Set firm boundaries and seek support from trusted friends, family, and or professionals. Always know that you are not alone. And remember the signs. Write down the signs and also listen to your gut because your gut tells you things. All you need to do is really pay attention to your gut. How does your body feel when you're around this person? Aside from the intimacy part, separate that and think about how does your body feel? How does your chest feel? How does your anxiety feel? How does your energy feel when you are around this person? And that's when you'll know and you'll start to pick up on those signs and you'll really start to reevaluate things. And I think it really matters because emotional abuse may not leave visible marks, but the effects are long lasting. Experiencing constant belittling, gaslighting, manipulation can lead to anxiety, depression, PTSD, chronic stress, headaches, and sleep disturbances. Your mental, your emotional, even your physical health can be affected. Research shows that nearly half of all adults report experiencing psychological aggression from partners at some point in their life. That means emotional abuse is far more common than we realize, and it can happen to anyone, regardless of your age, gender, and or backgrounds. It's also important to remember that emotional abuse can erode self-esteem, distort your sense of reality, and make you question your own feelings and your own sense of self. Even when the abuse is subtle or disguised as love or concern, it chips away at your confidence and well-being over time. Just because you can't see the scars doesn't mean the damage isn't real. Emotional abuse is serious, and recognizing its patterns and its impact is the first step towards healing, reclaiming control, and protecting your emotional abuse. And listen to your gut. Really listen to it because our gut tells us. If you allow your gut to lead.
I also wanted to share with you guys a recovery toolkit. And this is important because you can always refer back to it if you are in this predicament and or if you know someone that might need this sort of help where you can just reference back to it. The first step is to name it. Identifying red flags is the first step towards reclaiming control. The second step is to document it. So keep logs of everything, all the dates, the incidents, everything. The third step, which is the most important step because it's related to your safety, and is to create a safety plan, to know safe places, spaces, contacts, and escape routes. Step number 4 is to reach out to someone that you trust. And or you can always call the 1-800-799-SAFE, which is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Step number 5 is to go to therapy and support groups and know that you are not alone. And there are other people that are going through and or have went through similar situations, and you can support each other. And these places help you with trauma-informed therapy, which helps you rebuild and rebuild yourself. Step number 6 is self-care rituals, such as sleep, movements, hobbies, reclaiming your identity, which is very important. And I also wanted to emphasize that these steps and what we're discussing is not just for women. Men are going through this as well, and men are dealing with partners or friends or family that are also going through this. So I just want to just emphasize that nobody is alone. So this is for anyone that is going through something similar or knows someone that is going through something similar, And it's always important to prioritize yourself, prioritize your mental health, prioritize your safety. Only take action if you feel secured and supported, which is the most important. Your safety is top priority. These red flags don't scream, they whisper. But quiet doesn't mean harmless. If this connected with you, remember you are not broken, you are not alone. Drop a heart, subscribe for real connection, and share this with someone who deserves the truth. Until next time, guys.